First off, let me thank all of you for coming out on a little bit of a stormy night tonight. I'm sure it's better than snow, but still a little rainy, a little wet, a little windy. So thanks so much for taking the time out to be here with us tonight for this Crime Watch meeting. It really shows that we have a strong interest amongst all of us here in the city of Revere and our neighborhoods and keeping our neighborhoods safe, which is priority number one, I know, for myself and for my administration. I'd like to just introduce a few people that are here with us here tonight, elected officials that are joining us. As I see them, I'll introduce them. City Councilor Brian Arrigo, City Councilor Steve Reardon, City Councilor Charlie Patch, City Councilor John Correggio, City Councilor Tony Zambuto, and any other city councilors that I missed? Okay, school committee members. Where's some school committee members? Anyone here from the school committee? All right. First off, again, thank you for being here. It's very, very important to me, as the mayor of the city, to not only keep our city safe, but to make people feel safe as well. We have started a new program where we're collecting data and analyzing it regularly to see what the crimes are here in the city, where we should be focusing our attention, and our statistician is actually here with us tonight to participate in this meeting. Not physically, but just to be here and see what goes on and hear from the people. We want to take a real proactive approach to crime, not a reactive approach. There's always going to be those cases where we have to react to a crime that occurs, but the more criminal activity that we can nip in the bud, the better off we're all going to be and the safer we're all going to be. I was going to share a quick story about a particular incident that happened and how it could be helpful to you. I think I'll save that for a little bit later on because there's law enforcement professionals that have, I'm sure, a lot of information they want to share with you. So rather than go into that right now, I'd like to introduce our new chief. Well, actually, he's not new anymore, but he has been my chief now since last February, and I believe he's doing a really, really good job. I'm very, very proud of the work he's doing, and really the work of all the members of his department. They're doing a terrific job, and I'd like to introduce now our Chief of Police, Joe Caffarelli.
Good evening, and thank you for coming down here. I apologize for our technology glitches, but the PowerPoint apparently is not working tonight. So be it. Again, thank you, our distinguished guests that are here. Without the aid of our PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to run through this real quick, what we have. You're here to learn how to run a crime watch, and it's very easy to do, and what you've done so far is the first step is getting together as a community to work on it to that end. So, without any further ado, what can we do to get this crime watch groups going? Well, we'll start from the beginning with respect to what we're doing, public safety issues in the city of Revere. First one is property crimes, and I can tell you right now, I met with my head of detectives, Lieutenant John Goodwin. He's formed a task force with at least 6 other cities and towns surrounding Revere: Everett, Malden, Chelsea, Winthrop, Lynn, Danvers, Melrose. It's an epidemic with respect to property crimes, i.e. house breaks and that sort of thing. So without getting into a lot of the operational aspects of the task force, it is underway, it's not falling on deaf ears, and it's more than just Revere. It's become very problematic. They're working closely with the Attorney General's office. They're trying to present a case to bring forth. It's bigger than just Revere, Suffolk County, so it is underway. I don't want to disclose too much, but rest assured that the work is being done. Drugs and gangs the same way. I mean, it's sort of a hand-in-hand operation. Again, through the collaborative effort of a task force, we have officers assigned to an FBI gang task force. The gangs and the drugs go hand in hand. And it's sometimes difficult to get that point across to some of our sister agencies, some of our federal agencies, such as you have the FBI on the one hand, the DEA on the other hand. We have officers working with both agencies. Those agencies sometimes have a difficult time working together. We bridge that gap. So at the end of the day, we have 3 officers working with the DEA task force. It's a whole alphabet soup here. We have 3 officers with the DEA task force, 1 full-time and 2 part-time, working on numerous drug investigations throughout the city and throughout the Boston area. Conversely, we have the FBI task force with 1 officer dedicated full-time and other part-time officers dedicated to the FBI task force. They get together in our office and they share stories, they share data, they share information, informants and whatnot. So, and again, it's bigger than just Revere, but it is being addressed without getting into operational aspects of the cases that they're working. It is underway. And traffic, as we know, is always problematic in the city and always will be. With that said, we've done a lot of very proactive programs with traffic. One that comes into mind off the top of my head is in the area of the Beachmont School. Excuse me. Since the school year, we have over 200 citations just on Bennington Street, and that's just commuters in the morning. 200 tickets since the beginning of the school year, in front of the school, only in the first 2 hours of the school day. That's a lot of proactive work, and it's problematic throughout the city. We move those groups around from location to location, school to school. I'd like to expand my my traffic unit even more than the 4 men that I have, and hopefully in the near future I'll be able to do that. Other responses from the administration have been our increased foot patrols on Broadway. The mayor alluded to a recent anecdote. If anybody ever questioned why we have a foot patrol on Broadway, there's a woman that had no vital signs. One of my officers booted the door down, began CPR, and revived her. One of the guys on the Broadway walking route that would not have been there otherwise. I'm going to be recommending him for a recommendation in front of the council and maybe a statewide recognition as well for, saving a life. It's a life-saving award. I mean, kudos to that officer. He did a fantastic job. It makes me proud. Thank you, and I'm not even going to disclose that officer's name because I want you to look at any one of my officers. Any one of them is capable of doing that, and it's all for one and one for all. If one officer can do it, any one of my officers can do it and should do it. I expect them to do it. I expect no less. Substation on Broadway. We've been working on this for several months now. It's a work in progress. We'll hope to get that out in the next week or so. I would say it's had a couple of hiccups, a couple of problems, but again, the presence on Broadway, the void that's been created by us moving to the Parkway, it's noticeable. The walking routes working out of that substation, as well as other programs that we're working on, it seems to be working. Again, there's one saved life that we can chalk up to it, as well as numerous arrests. The officers that are working are very proactive. And as the mayor said, we're working on a city staff program just to run the police department more efficiently. It's a learning experience for me. I've never had to deal with as much statistical data. My eyes will glaze over as I'm sitting there listening to it. I won't bore you with statistics, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. When your house gets broken into, your statistical data just shot through the roof. It went to 100%. Again, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. That's what we're here to work on. And one of the big things, and again, it's a technology age that we live in, with the social media integration that we're working on with City Hall, putting as much out on the website, Twitter, Facebook. Don't ask me how to do it. Ask your kids. I don't know how to do it. I got people for that. I'm sure you do too. It's a generational thing. The younger kids are just, their thumbs, they're going to have hands with just thumbs on them because that's all they do is they text. But again, it's an asset. It's incredible. The network that you can create and use and put information out. We've put information out for lost children. I mean, and people that might otherwise not have a home phone, might not watch television, might not listen to the radio. They got a smartphone and they're getting that information as quickly as we do. So it's a very useful tool for us. For a Crime Watch meeting. or how to establish a crime watch group. The most important thing to do is communication. It increases your neighborhood cohesion. When you live in a neighborhood, you don't need me sitting there telling you about this. You live in a neighborhood, you know your neighbors, and you should know your neighbors. And if nothing else, a neighborhood watch helps you to do that. And that's not just important when you're planning parties, but you're going away. You know, if you don't talk to your neighbor, they're not going to know you're gone. If they don't know you're gone, they're not going to know why this guy is carrying all your furniture out the front door. You know, but if you talk to your neighbors, grab my mail so that, you know, no one notices a stack of mail while I'm on vacation, or turn the lights on, things like that. Keep an eye out. You know, I know he goes to work, so why are the lights on there? You know, he should be working nights. Why are his lights on? You know, these are questions you're not going to know that until you talk to your neighbor. And that's fostered by neighborhood cohesion. Most important thing to do. Put aside differences. Every neighborhood has people you like, you don't like, you get along with, you don't get along with. It's a little more important. It's taking back your own streets. You're not going to be able to do it alone, but you can do it with our help. I mean, there's only so much we can do, but it's up to you. That communication, and this is something, any one of my officers, you can tell them how I feel about communication. It pains me when I see one of my officers carrying just a gun. And I'll call him in and tell him, go get the rest of your gear. You know, I've been on this job here for 22 years. I've never had to use my gun. I use this radio a dozen times a day. Communication. If there's one thing on my duty belt that's the most important thing I have, communication. Right there, answer the phone. Communication. Nothing else is important as that. Communicating with each other. Communicating with us. The simple communication improves how you report crimes to us. And again, if any of you have been here at Crime Watch meetings that I spoke at before, numbers on your house. It's important for us. We're responding to a call. We have an ordinance that's really not been enforced, but it's important to put the number on your house. Yeah, you know you live at 123 Sergeant Street. I don't know that. And not on the door. Make sure you have it someplace where it's conspicuously seen. You call 911. You're waiting for the police to arrive. You're waiting for fire to arrive. Where are they? You're hanging out the door. If you got the number on the door's open. We're not going to see it. Especially 3 in the morning coming down here, lights and siren. We're not going to see it. Put it someplace where we can see it. Reflective is even better. Numbers on the back of the house. And people don't think about that. Your neighbors behind you, too. They're looking at the back of your house. They see somebody booting the door in the back because no one's going to see them in the back of the house. A lot of our breaks will come from the back of the house. If you have a number on the back of your house, your neighbor behind you might not know that you live at 123 Sergeant Street, but he'll know, you know, it's the greenhouse on Sergeant Street. Drive down Sergeant Street, see how many greenhouses you have. And because this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're responding to a call. It's funny now, but when you're going to a call for a break in progress, what number? Greenhouse on Sergeant Street with a lawn jockey in front. This is what we're looking for. Sometimes that's the description we get. So it's, if nothing else, numbers on the front, on the back as well. I mean, Crime Watch works. It helps you to take back your own street. This communication back and forth with your neighbors. You're going to find you share a lot of the same concerns. How to report crimes, and again, you know, like I said, how the information we receive is crucial in how we respond. I mean, I can go on all night about different incidents. We've gotten calls, we've got reports. You know, for shots fired, we come to find out we have a legitimate shooting that was reported as a disturbance. You know, so you may not go lights and siren to a shooting, but if it was the caller stays on the line and says, hey, you know, they're not just fighting, they're shooting at each other, we're probably going to go a little quicker. We better be going a little quicker. But we don't know that. Again, the communication is key. So one of the things you want to formulate when you form a crime watch, how to report crimes. You know, the who, what, where, when, and why. You know, who are you? I mean, we don't have to put your name in a report, but sometimes we do. If it's a serious enough crime, particularly, you know, crime against a person, we may have to, I'm not going to tell you, we can always keep you anonymous. We may have to name you. And rightfully so. Again, it's your streets. It's your neighborhood. It's up to you to take it back. There's only so much the police can do. We need your help. And that's the help we may need. You know, if we can protect your identity, we most certainly will, but sometimes it's just not possible. We're going to need you to help us. And I'm asking you that now. Okay, when reporting a crime or other suspicious activity, stay calm and give the police incident location, the type of incident, any injuries, and as good a description of the individuals as possible. Again, you know, we're trained to handle those critical incidences. We're trained to handle the high-stress environment of responding to calls like that, calls for service that may have some, you know, injuries, violence. You're not. We understand that. We get that. Our call takers, they're trained to try to draw as much information out of you as possible. Stay on the phone. As long as you can, stay on the phone. You know, keep talking. You may think things are unimportant. Throw it out there. I can't stress how important it is getting as much information to the officers involved is to us. It helps us to put cases together. I've lost a gun case because I couldn't get a neighbor to say that they called the police. So I had a bunch of gangbangers in the car with a stolen Glock 40 that walked because I couldn't get a neighbor to say that they called the police. That's how serious it is. Okay, when reporting a crime, you might want to write down that crime. Write down whatever you see. Sometimes, again, you know, your mind, if you don't, you may not think it's important now, but if it stood out to you then, it's probably something that's noteworthy. Write it down. It's certainly worth remembering. Throw it out there. Even if you may think it's insignificant or inconsequential, throw it out there. Write it down. Again, you know, I can't remember what I had for supper last night. Okay, your mind, you got so much going on in the course of a day, you tend to forget a lot of things. 24 hours from now, are you going to remember that guy had a hoodie with lettering on the front? Probably not. But if you see it, write it down. Even if you don't know what it says, write it down. You know, we have enough cameras floating around the city right now. We're working on getting more of them. Councilor Reardon, we're speaking with him about getting some more pole cameras. I've talked to the state police this morning. They're going to put more cameras. They don't have any cameras on the beach. We're getting 4 from them that we're going to tie into our system. So even if you see the guy with the hoodie with the letter on, you don't know what it says, safe bet we may have it on camera somewhere. We may have that footage. So any tidbit of information you can provide for us is useful. Again, physical description of a person, their sex, age, height, race, anything distinguished, facial hair, tattoos if you're close enough, accents, physical description of their clothing. You know, even if you don't know what it says, it's too far away, it could be significant. Vehicles, same way. Make and model if you can. Bumper stickers, missing hubcaps, broken windows. I mean, these are all things that are going to single one car out from the pack. Go look for a black Honda Accord. You'll probably find 20 of them in the parking lot tonight. Okay, it's a very popular car. Go look for the black Honda Accord with a bumper sticker on the back window, driver's side, that says whatever. You know, just a bumper sticker. And you're going to narrow that field down significantly. Okay, how to form your own neighborhood watch. Again, it's communication. Communication is the key. It's taking back your neighborhood, sharing your concerns, you know, consolidating to one voice for your neighborhood. I mean, it couldn't get any. This is how this country was formed, by neighbors getting together, having concerns about what happened. No reason we can't do it now. Talk to your neighbors. See who may be interested. Some might not be, but I'd say most are. Most have a vested interest in their neighborhood, in their homes, in their property. Talk to them. Can't hurt to talk. There's nothing more. Again, communication. Set up a meeting and invite representatives from the police department. I'd be more than happy to send officers to any crime watch meeting you plan on having. We're more than happy to come out and help you out. Officer Salvati has been instrumental in numerous crime watch meetings. Lieutenant O'Hara, Officer Della Russo's getting on board. We have a number of other officers that are more. I'll get somebody there for you. That's not a problem, believe me. Choose a group leader and conduct regular meetings to discuss issues in your area, and always be vigilant. Again, communication is the key. Put the personality differences aside. We all have them. I mean, there's no neighborhood in the world that's without them. So put them aside. You know, you have a common goal. Work on it. That's what we're here for. And bring it to us. Be vigilant and watch out for each other. That's all I. Anybody have any questions?
Chief, before you take some questions, could I just say a couple
Absolutely.
quick things? Just real, you know, and we are, by the way, before we leave here tonight, we're going to talk about, you know, some real practical ways on how we're going to form or start the formation of a crime watch group or several crime watch groups here tonight. You know, I told the chief way back when, I know that he feels the same way. As long as there's one crime committed throughout the course of a year, we have a crime problem here in the city. And so we're going to stay vigilant on trying to get the bad guys off our streets. But as I said earlier, it's important that we have other sets of eyes and ears that are out there. When the chief says, you know, we can't do it alone, he can't. He's got 90 men and women total that are patrolling the streets 24 hours a day in different parts of the city. Obviously, they can't be in every neighborhood. So it's up to all of us, and I can't tell you again, I said this at the outset, how happy and proud I am that we have residents here in our city that are taking time out to come out because they want to be proactive and be part of the solution, not sit back and complain because a neighbor's car got broken into, or, you know, crime happened down the street, or maybe there's a drug dealer that might be living at the end of your street or on the abutting street somewhere. You know, you guys are the eyes and ears here. And, you know, if you know, there's plenty of people to call. You obviously call the police, but if you feel uncomfortable calling the police, you can call my office. I've got members of my staff here tonight that are with me, and I'll take a few seconds to introduce them. There's my Chief of Staff, Miles Lane Kennedy, there in the back, David Krasnoff, Debbie West, and Sophia Forgione over there, and Joyce Danuccio. So they're all here. Thank you for being here. You know, but we take this very, very seriously. And, you know, members of my staff that are here tonight know that. They know that your safety is my #1 priority. And the chief touched on a couple things, and I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but I want this information to get out. He talked about putting numbers on the back of your house, which is very, very, very good information and something that I think all of you should consider. He talked about, you know, communication. And, you know, I had the opportunity to have a conversation with the mayor of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, who in one event lost half of his town because of a tornado that came through. Half of his town. I mean, mass casualties. He said the only way that we could communicate was through Facebook and Twitter on our cell phones. Now, I know Facebook and Twitter, as the chief alluded to, and I'm in that same category, you know, as they say, it's all Greek to me. I don't really know. But you should familiarize yourself with it, or if you have children, grandchildren, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, whatever it happens to be, somebody, it's become so prominent that you can find people that can get you hooked up on your mobile phone with those applications. Because, you know, God forbid, there could be a day when that's the only way this city has a way to communicate with you. So, and we try to communicate in all different ways. We communicate through newsletters. If you're interested in staying up to date, I know the city has their own newsletter. The chief actually puts out his own newsletter where you'll find, you know, tips on how to keep yourself safe and what's going on in the city and so on. You can sign up for either newsletter by contacting our office. You know, information, communication. The other thing I want to talk about, we've got Home Depot over here, which I want to thank them for being here. You know, I think you've got, what, like various locks and things like that. There's also, in addition to just locks and things like that, there's alarm systems. I know myself, I have an alarm system in my house, and knock wood, I've never had to have the police respond to it. But we have someone here with us tonight whose house got broke into last week. Lives here in the neighborhood. House got broken into. She has an alarm that's hooked up to the police and fire. The perpetrator broke into the house, had a scanner on, heard the call go to the police station, and left the house without taking anything. So that, to me, is a clear indication that burglar alarms can work. I'm not saying they're going to work 100% of the time, but that's one indication of how, she was, saved from being, further victimized by, like we talked about property crimes, theft and all that stuff. I mean, it's out there, and it's not, it's not just Revere. You just have to turn on the news to see where crimes are being committed. So none of us are immune, no matter where we live, what our circumstances are. But the one thing that we do all have in common is that we all have 2 ears and 2 eyes, that we can look around our neighborhoods and look after each other. And that is the goal of Crime Watch, to put you together with your neighbors. Now, there might be some of you here that you're the only representative from your immediate neighborhood. Well, you know what? I can't force you to do this, but if you're really set on trying to keep your neighborhood safe, and you want to take a lead role in this, go knock on your neighbors' doors. Say, look, I attended a Crime Watch meeting last night. I'm looking to form a little group here on our street, or on these 2 or 3 streets. I'd like to have a meeting. You can meet, you can always find a meeting place, and that's where you can call Officer Salvati, Officer Della Russo, Lieutenant O'Hara. We have retired Lieutenant Carl Borgioli, who's here, and Carl, thank you for coming out of retirement to be here with us tonight. There's plenty of opportunity for everybody to get involved and collectively keep our neighborhood safe. And we hear it a lot: take back our neighborhoods, take back our neighborhoods, and that holds true for every neighborhood, I believe, in this state or in this country, because there's more good guys than bad guys. It's a matter of getting the good guys to organize. So with that, I think, are we going to bring up Officer Salvati, or and then after Officer Salvati talks about how to actually, I touched on it a little bit, but he'll talk a little bit more on how to form a Crime Watch group. And then at the end, if you have some specific questions, I think that all the officers that are here and the chief are going to be able to stick around. So if you hold your questions, let Officer Salvati talk about actual practical steps on, I'm sorry, John, what was it? Oh, okay. I just noticed City Councilor Arthur Guanasso and City Councilor Jessica Giannino came in. So thank you very much. So as you can see, it's not just the administration that cares about crime, it's your other elected leaders. We're all in this together to make our neighborhoods as safe as we possibly can. So with that, Officer Salvati, can I call you up here? And
If I may, I just want to point out real quick, you've taken the first step. You've come here. Okay? Look around, find somebody that lives on your street, form your Crime Watch. Okay? So look at somebody around here that lives close by, form your crime. You're here now. You've taken the first step. Every step after that is easy. Thank you. Jerry?
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hello, everybody. I'm Officer Salvati. I recognize a lot of faces in here tonight. Main purpose we're here for is to organize the Crime Watch. We're looking for block captains. Ward 6 is a large area. We're looking for like 3 volunteers. Anybody. I have a gentleman there from East Boston. I went to a meeting there, 2 weeks ago, Vinny?
Yeah.
And he had a small group. My wife and I attended. There was like 20 people there. It could be small, like the mayor said. It could be large, whatever is easy for you. We have Eileen here from Beachmont. She does a phenomenal job. She organized it, and they got it unbelievable down there. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking, the mayor is totally dedicated to this. It's unbelievable that you have an opportunity in the city to really start this program and make it work. It starts with the chief of police, my boss. It starts with the mayor. The mayor has been, from day one, very, very adamant about having citywide. He said he wants the people to feel safe and be safe. No one knows your area like you do, okay? I have books here, excuse me, books here that everybody has. Please look through them. Take them with you. There's a lot of good stuff. It tells you how to start a Crime Watch, how to get block captains. There's things in here, how to have a home survey, okay? You can do a survey, excuse me, your own survey in your house, okay? Go through it, about the exterior, Do you have enough lights out there? A lot of problems with the homes today, they don't have enough lighting. Motion sensors work beautiful. I've been to a class, 4-day class, and they stressed lights, lights, lights. Doors, make sure they're always locked. We go to calls over and over, and the chief will tell you about it. I just stepped off for 5 minutes, was running to, Stop and Shop, running to get some gas. Then crime opportunity. Bushes. You have tall bushes covering windows, they got to be trimmed down. People, like the chief says, these people make it their job to steal from us, to steal from everybody. We're all victims at times. Got to have lighting, keep the bushes down. If you have windows on the bottom, make sure they're all locked. Garage doors, another thing. Make sure they're locked when you go out. People go out, they can slide right open. Make sure they're locked. Your vehicles, we have a lot of B&Es, which is a breaking into a vehicle, okay? And that is a crime of opportunity. Today, like the chief said, cell phones, iPads, change, anything that's really, even a pair of sunglasses that might look expensive. They'll walk by, smash it, grab it, and they're gone in 2 seconds. By the time we get there, they're gone. That's why it helps to have citizens like yourselves helping each other. You all know your streets better than we do. We drive around the cruiser, we patrol, and we can only get so much done. But you know, like the chief said, you know if your neighbor's going away, take a little time. Maybe take a look, say, hey, listen, I'm going to be gone for a week. They'll watch over your house, maybe take your mail in. Where I live, my neighbor has my key to my house. So if there's a problem, there's always looks like there's someone in there. People make it a business to rob and steal. Unfortunately, it happens everywhere. It ain't just Revere. People think it's everywhere. We talk to police, like the chief said, with all the cities and towns. This is why we need you. We'll help you. And you, the citizens of Revere, have a great opportunity. The mayor is more dedicated than a lot of past mayors we had about the Crime Watch. And I've spoken to him several times about it. We had many conversations, and he strongly feels in this. And with our new chief, the mayor, this is your opportunity to have a Crime Watch. They said it could be big as you want it, small as you want it. It's a volunteer basis. We meet a couple times a month. Put down your issues, what you having. Every area has different. Sergeant Street might have, an issue with just saying speeding. Mall Street might have something different. Maybe kids hanging around at night near the park causing a disturbance. Actually, the way on school here. Whatever it might be, every area has different, problems. Beachmont, they have their situation, but they run a small group there, unbelievable. They keep it. We get together a couple times a year. We go over the problems, and like I tell everybody, we'll try to help you the best we can. Can we solve everything? Probably not. I'm not going to lie to you. We'll try it. We'll try our best. We'll give you 100% of our dedication through our chief and through the mayor. But if anybody here would like to start in this area here, you can see me. I'm going to be actually in Broadway office coming soon, probably next week, something like that. So I'll be available Monday through Friday. You can come down to the office, whatever you have. As you can see, you have the councils here. A lot of the councils here, you have a lot of output here. You have a lot of reach, a lot of people that can help you. Oh, we got Home Depot here. Thank you, Mr. Home Depot. He's actually from Revere. I went up there and asked him to do a display for us. They were kind enough from Saugus to send down Mr. Bagnera there. He's got different locks so you can look at. And we appreciate you coming down. Thank you. And like I said, I'm here, the chief's here, Lieutenant O'Hara, Officer Del Russo, Lieutenant Bajoli's here also. Grab him, get him in the back there. He's always on duty, even though he's retired. But honestly, I really feel with this administration and our chief and the mayor that we can accomplish a lot here. But it takes you. Yes, sir. Yes, the chief just been, I think next week, possibly by next... Oh, it's 6 Pleasant Street. 6 Pleasant Street is going to be the address of the substation. And I will be there Monday through Friday. So you can reach me anytime. I sent out flyers here with my email on there. We're going to have a number. We're going to have a phone number there eventually. We're waiting for that, the new lines to come in. So you can leave a message there, what your concerns are. I work with all the councils, with Correggio, Sambudo, all the councils here, Arthur Ganasso, we had numerous things. But we've had a lot of these meetings, as the mayor will tell you, but the only real group we really got really going is in Beachmont. We have a small group with Ward 2, so we're looking to expand through the whole city. So we need your help. We're here to help you. If you want us to help you, we're there for you. The mayor picked, he got, what, 6 people in the, 6 people in each ward, Ward 1 through 6, that he appointed through your group there, the advisory group.
Yeah.
And they're here too, right? Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, if I could, and I'm glad that Jerry touched on that. I just want to introduce a couple people that are here that serve on our neighborhood advisory board, and they basically have come forward and volunteered to help out in their particular areas, and actually helped put this meeting together. So I'd like to recognize them. Erin Harrington. Erin, thank you very much for serving. I really appreciate it. And Scott Capeluzzi. Scott, thank you very much. Any other members here from the Advisory Council? Jim Derrico. Jim, thank you very much for being here also, Jim. Really appreciate your help. So you can see, we've got the police, we've got our elected officials here, you've got volunteers, and now we're reaching out to you, another layer within the neighborhoods, to come together to take a lead on this. Because it's not going to happen. If everybody just takes their paperwork home tonight and does nothing with it, then hopefully you've got some good information here tonight. Maybe you buy a couple locks on the way out the door or something, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody, all of you, but if not all of you, some of you, to step forward and say, you know what, I'm very interested in this. I'd like to get together with my neighbors and make this work. And we've got the people here that can help make that happen. So I'm very hopeful that as this comes to a conclusion after some questions and answers, that you'll stick around and grab one of these officers that are here, tell them that, yes, I'm going to be the one that's going to take a lead on this, okay? So, Jerry, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Watch yourself. Thank you. Like I said, in the package, you will see there's handouts like this, okay? This is on street captains. It shows you how to be a street captain. It's very easy. It's a volunteer base. There's nothing to, it's all volunteer. You can do it. You can do it. It's very simple. This one here is on how to, expectation guidelines, what to do if you have to call in an emergency, what to do. Like the chief said, the plate, the number. It's all vital to us, descriptions. What you give us gives us a better chance to capture the person that's doing the crimes. We want to get them. We want to see who they are. We want to at least ID them so we know what's going on the next time it happens again. We want to keep you as safe as we can, but we need your help. And this is the outreach we're doing. I got all the guides here. If anybody's interested in it, read them. It's very self-explanatory. How to organize, how to be a captain. That's what we're here for. Like I said, if we have any questions, I'll bring the chief back up. If anybody have any questions back here? Yes, ma'am. I would definitely take the plate down if you don't recognize them being in the area, unless there's someone if you don't really see all the time, they look out of place. Give us the plate. Like I said, this is what the meetings are for. When I have my office up, you can call up and say, "Listen, Officer Salvati, I live off of Washington Ave, right? I know where you live. I live here. Give me a plate number, and I can follow up on it."
And then my other question is, does it really relate to being in the neighborhood, so just being out around the city, because this has happened to me and happened to other people, that I know, when you go to a store, like Walgreens, Stop Shop, or even CVS, people that approach you, they get right in your space, I need money, can you give me some money, I don't need your phone. I mean, what do you do in that incident? And it always seems to be that they don't look right to begin with, so you're quick to get away from them.
Absolutely, right. Stay as far as where you can from them. Just, be loud. If you're loud, they don't want to be seen. Just say, "Listen, get away from him. I'm going to call the cops." More than likely, they're going to leave. If they don't, Have someone call the cops. You have a cell phone, call us. We'll come right down. That's our job. It's like the chief said. Something's happened, we're going to be there for you. But if you're loud, they usually leave because they don't want to have the cops come down like us. Because we come there, they're going to be run through the rag. We're going to get their name. We're going to start running them for warrants. They're not just be walking away. We're going to give them the business before they leave there. And if they have a warrant or something, they're not going to want to deal with us. So call us. If you get loud as you can. If they don't leave, call us. Well, that's what we're here for.
Yes.
My bike got stolen out of my backyard.
Did you have it locked up? No? Okay, that's not, like I said, it's a crime of opportunity. You have to lock it into a shed, into your basement, and you should have your bike registered. I register the bikes myself and Officer Della Russo. We do it over the summertime. We register all the bikes in the city for free. We'll actually be at the Wheel and Scooter summer again. But you got to tell your friends, tell your anybody you're close with. You got to lock your bike up. Anything that's not going to be, it's going to be stolen. Okay, you have to lock it up, okay? And this summer, make sure you register the bike with us. Me and Officer Del Russo will be here in the Whalen School. We'll have it posted to register your bike for free, okay? Yes, sir.
I'm talking on behalf of my neighbor, Joe.
Okay.
Somebody broke into his car, they stole his car.
Okay.
He called the police department.
All right, sir.
And they told him to come down to the station and fill out a report. They didn't even come to his house.
Okay, was the car already gone, sir? Okay, well, the usual...
If I may, can I address that, please?
Yeah.
Because that's a procedural issue that arises with stolen vehicles. When officers will stop a car, we put out a report of a stolen car, we'll put that out right away. That report will go out right away. Again, as much information as you, a lot of people don't know their registration. Okay.
He's only parked. The visit my friend the night, 11 o'clock, parked in my driveway at the front of my house. In the morning, we are out 7 o'clock in the morning. I look in the car, in the driveway, and I'm finding the car. All of the police, this is some of the police that told them you're supposed to come in here, you don't have the car, you just they go to the police station. After this, just to call my son, my son they come and pick it up to me, and go to the office and make a report. After this, my son supposed to tell me, I need one the car for the family, rent the car for the surrender, rent the car. So for the surrender told, it's okay, rent the car. Me and my son supposed to go for the rent of the car and find the car at Venice Street.
They found the car.
Find the car.
A couple hours later,
On
on Main Street.
Why they drive the car, no broken nothing, just to get up in the box and a little paper try to wear all over the place. It's just
Where were the keys? Did you have the keys?
No, my key in my car.
Yeah.
Every night
They-
my key is straight in my car.
Okay.
They broke the steering wheel. But when he called the police then, the person he
touch
spoke
nothing in
to
the car.
said, maybe you parked it on that street.
It happens. You laugh. It happens.
You know what? You're
But
right.
again, and this is why it's imperative that somebody comes to the station to report it. We need to enter that into a nationwide database that goes out throughout the country. That car is reported stolen. Now, when my officers approach a stolen car, it's a high-risk car stop. So at this point, you know, the officers' lives are put in danger, and if the car is reported stolen erroneously, maybe somebody borrowed it, they're going to find themselves with a gun stuck in their face when they just borrowed the car and you didn't realize somebody was going to borrow it. So that's why it's imperative that it's a signed affidavit that the car was reported stolen, and then it gets entered in a nationwide database. That's why we need you to come to the station. However, when you report it, it does go out immediately to the cars. And again, time is of the essence.
Excuse me. Hi. Listen, I'm in Beach. Now, I live out in the city, I'm back in the city. It's been about 4 years or so, maybe 5. But the police brought to my attention that there are residents, whether they be speaking of Italian or Spanish, whatever national, whatever, and the dialect is quite visible to the police department. And also, another factor is the people that are elderly are family members that are handicapped. Now, I, for instance, made. Through the census was brought to my attention, I was trying to locate, and this is a city issue, I'm thinking that this may be within the community. But the fact is, there's people that neighbor, what have you, are all, first of all, I know residents, you're looking at the census, but at the same time, we're paying taxes within the city. So shouldn't we have a say? I mean, and I think, is there something that we're connected, some of us, to 911,
You're losing me. What is it?
Sometimes there's a reverse telephone of 911, was brought to someone. There's a constant. What I'm saying is that whenever, whether you're in the, I mean, I know, for instance, that I functioned pretty justice, and I'm just, I graduated in 1981 from their high. I have to, but no matter where, I think that it's good to start as the first crime watch incident somewhere. That's the purpose of looking out for each other. We don't want to see our children going after guns. We don't want to see them on drugs. We don't want, as a matter of fact, we don't even want to come to meet loud real in some cases. And I think that there's another picture as far as the health insurance. I know that we have education.
Okay.
That's another.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else have any questions? Counsel.
Door-to-door salesmen selling products, what could you advise people about that? We don't know what they're looking for, they could be looking
Yeah, I would advise you. I mean, that's one of those things you often find people trying to get you to pave your driveway in the summer or something like that. Give me half the money now. Usually they're scams. I mean, let's face it. In 2013, there's not a lot of door-to-door salesmen. I mean, unless the kids are selling Girl Scout cookies or something like that. Which, if anybody wants to buy any, I got the form in the car. But nobody really goes door-to-door anymore. So with that said, you know, I'd be reluctant to open my door to anybody selling anything, to be quite honest with you. You know, if you didn't call to have somebody appraise your driveway, why would you let them in? You know what I mean? Something you don't need a new roof. You didn't call. Why would you let them in? Don't. Call us, and we'll be glad to come down there. That's not a problem. Even like you got the car on the street. You know, you get a lot of cars coming back and forth on the street. If it's suspicious, you know, that's the time to call us. You know, if when you're starting to think to yourself, gee, should I call the police? Call the police. And I've mentioned this at other Crime Watch meetings too. You know, people, honest to God, they say, I don't want to bother you. I didn't want to bother you. That's what we're here for. Bother us. That's what we're here for. You're not bothering us. We're getting paid 8 hours a day to respond to your calls. That's what civil service is. We'll come. You're not bothering us. You know, it may seem frivolous to you, and maybe it is, but you know what? Now at least you'll rest easy. Anybody else? Boy, am I a wet blanket. Every time I answer questions, nobody has any. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. I actually have more of a resource too for the neighborhood. I lived down the street for about 25 years, and I went to the old building here. And I'm currently also working for a program that's part of the city, and it's all part of the community called Rivera Green. I have some sign-up sheets in the front, and a brochure and a card that you can take home with you. But I encourage you to sign up. One of our actually strategies that we use in different neighborhoods throughout the city, safety is a huge concern, and communication, what you already presented, is also something that keeps coming up, that we all need to talk to each other, and that we all need to come together around safety issues for our neighborhood. So one of the things that we work around is actually making Rivera a healthier city for physical activity and healthy eating. But part of that is also how are we able to use our neighborhoods, that we're able to walk around safely, that we don't feel that someone's going to hurt us. We're able to go to the park, and our kids are able to use the park. Just the past year or so, we implemented an urban trail for residents, for neighbors here in West Revere to be able to walk around our neighborhood. It actually starts here at the Wayland School. Another program that starts and ends here at the Wayland School, actually Julie who spoke earlier, who's coordinator for the Safe Schools to School program, and actually encourages kids to walk to and from school in groups that are coordinated by volunteers. So another safety measure that's being taken that's organized by neighbors. So I want to encourage you to also think about some ideas that you may have to also increase safety, but also how to make the city healthier, the neighborhood healthier through physical activity and healthy eating. We clean up the park, clean up our streets, our neighborhoods. We walk around more. People are actually seeing activity instead of being in our homes all the time. That that people actually looking out for each other. So I just wanted to add that as a resource. Our sign-up sheet is up in the front. Our brochures are also up on the front. And if you have any questions about Revere and Move, you can talk to me. If you have any questions about Safe Schools to School, you can talk to Julie.
Thank you. There's many great civic organizations. That Revere on the Move is one of them. It's a good resource, much like Crime Watch, getting to know your neighbors and addressing your common problems. Anybody else?
You have a phone number for the address on Pleasant Street yet?
We're getting the phone hooked up hopefully this week.
Is it the former pet store, the former bank building? Is that
Correct, right. Well, no, I'm sorry, not the bank, right next door. Right off of, next to the old coffee shop that was on the corner, Paladino's. Yes, ma'am?
No, starting a neighborhood watch is not that difficult. Two of us started it in Beachmont 4 years ago. We walked the streets with our little boys, knocked on some doors, introduced ourselves to the neighbors that we didn't know, started talking. And here we are almost 4 years later. It's not a lot of work. It's just, if you want to do something, it just takes a couple of hours to get a couple of phone numbers and start a phone tree. And share your names, your phone numbers, and you turn the lights on. Every street, almost every single street can say, oh, I have a light, the street light that keeps going out or won't go on. Call the electric company, get that light turned on. The more street lights you have turned on, the less time you're going to have a car sitting in a dark spot, in a dark shadow on the street. It's not that hard. All you need to do is have the drive to do it, and a couple of, maybe 2 hours a week. That's all you need. I'd like to see some going all the way around.
The Beachmont folks, they're our go-to people for Crime Watch. They formed their group several years ago, and it's kind of a showcase for us. They can, if anybody can tell you how to get a neighborhood crime watch going, they can. Thank you. Anybody else?
You report all the break-ins every week with the number of the street in a journal.
Amy, do we report all the breaks on the street number, the house numbers? We don't do that, do we? In the journal.
Well, it would alert the neighbors that their neighbor was broken because they don't really converse with each other. Most neighbors.
Well, that's the point of having a crime watch, is so that they do. You need to converse with each other. That's the point of being here. Anybody else? Listen, I welcome you to come up, talk to myself, any one of my officers here, and let's get yourself a Crime Watch meeting started. Thank you.